On Monday this week, I was at a networking dinner that was being hosted by a former client and friend. The guests were from local and international organizations, a mix of people who didn't all know each other. As all the guests arrived and food was being ordered, the host said to the long table, "Well, Jacqueline is a facilitator, and maybe she could facilitate us to introduce ourselves to each other." Now, I wasn't expecting this, and I had to think very quickly about the question I could ask for everyone to answer so that they would get to know each other in just one round of introductions. So I looked up and I said, "Okay, what I'd like you to do is to answer this question. What do you love doing?" And who would like to start? So the question wasn't what do you do, but what do you love doing? There was a bit of a pause and some commenting. Then one guest started. His answer was very much related to the work he did. And as the table heard his answer, another guest who was next to me said, "Oh, I was going to answer camping, but now I guess I have to think of a work answer." So I stepped in and clarified. You can answer in any way you would like. What do you love doing? And it could be about work or it could be about something outside of work. And who's got something different? And so we went from one person to another until we had a collection of answers that told us more about each guest than what they did at work. One guest, who is the executive director of an international organization, used to be a tango teacher. Another loved reading and solitude. One person loved stroking her cat, even though she was allergic to it. All these answers that were more than the work they did meant that each person was more memorable, more fully present. And it also lubricated the social conversations that eventually happened over dinner that night. Now, that got me thinking about how important it is as a meeting facilitator to ask questions that allow people to bring their full selves to a dinner or a meeting or an event. The more we create space for people to be their full selves, the more guests or participants feel able to connect with each other. And that's the thing about facilitating. My job as a facilitator is to create the conditions for human connections that transcend the work people do or their job titles. And when we connect with each other in this way, we can start to build stronger relationships and networks. What questions have you been asked at a dinner or meeting or event that allowed you to introduce your full self to the group? I'd love to hear from you.